Hey guys, I thought I'd put out another video today. I'm kind of doing some chart scanning, so we're going to look at stock market sector analysis. And I nothing's actionable right now, but I want to point this stuff out early so that we can start talking about it in advance, getting set up. I see some trade setups coming. What looks to be like the next kind of major trade or sector trade that we can jump on board. So I want to point it out now so that everyone's ready. So I'm going to start out here. And again, if you guys like me putting out 2 videos in a day, encourage me. Thumbs up, leave a comment below, but at least hit that thumbs up button right now. I do appreciate that. Okay, I want to start out here with XLV. This is healthcare. And a couple things that I want to that just really stand out on XLV. First off, March 2020 lows, that's really where we're starting. But basically, we've got a bearish rising wedge pattern that's been building in XLV. And we're starting to get to the top of that wedge, the apex of the wedge. So, it's decision time. And now, a couple things on when you get a bearish rising wedge to watch for. Obviously, this is a bearish pattern, so typically it resolves to the downside. But sometimes you'll see the algos play games, and what they'll do is they'll pop it up to the upper end of the wedge, making it look like a breakout and bullish, and then from there it'll fail. You'll see it break down and fail. So at the end of the day, what I'd be looking for is a break of this lower trend line right there. Some sort of a break, whether it pops up and then breaks or just breaks down. I'm looking for that breakdown, that sell signal. But we've got a bearish rising wedge, a bearish pattern. The other thing that we have, if I zoom in, you'll see on the daily, we've got negative divergence on the PPO and the RSI on the daily. So basically, you can see the momentum starting to drop, and we have a lower high right here on the RSI and a lower high on the PPO, but a slightly higher price. And then it made another slightly higher price with another lower high. So again, negative divergence. I'm just trying to point out that concept. And again, take my training course, link in the description below. I go through all these concepts in detail. Should give you the skill set that you're looking for, at least when analyzing these charts. Okay, so we have negative divergence. Now, we don't have a sell signal. We don't have a break, but we've got a bearish pattern. We've got negative divergence. It's set up to break down. All right, that's one sector to watch. Another sector is, the financials, they're really starting to set up in the same pattern. Now, we don't have as nearly as defined of a bearish rising wedge, and we don't really have a bearish rising wedge. I mean, you could maybe mark something like that out. But at the end of the day, I'm really just concerned about this lower trend line right there. You can see we've got a reaction low, reaction, reaction, reaction. So I'm watching that trend line, and we've just been hugging that trend line. The last week, basically, we're just inching higher, kind of grinding higher, but we're doing that on less and less momentum. You see the RSI and the PPO they both have negative divergence. So this price action here is divergent high price action, and we are, set up to break. It looks weak to me. So again, no sell signal yet, but we're starting to, it looks very weak. And when I scan across some of these financials, they all are looking weak. Here's an example, Mastercard. You can see here's your trend line off the March 2020 lows. You can see support, and we're just grinding along support here. But you see negative divergence on the PPO, negative divergence on the RSI. So that's telling me that this is going to break trend soon. We're losing momentum, and it's likely going to break. We just are waiting for that sell signal or that tipping point, essentially, when we tip from a bullish trend into a bearish trend. And we're waiting for that. Another thing, obviously, the other financials like Ally, I've talked about that one, and Wells Fargo, they have the same setups, just grinding. Look at this grinding action. It's just barely holding on to this trend line. We're waiting for that impulsive breakdown, but we have negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. We have a clear uptrend waiting for that breakdown. So I'm seeing bearish. A lot of these are just running out of steam. All right, so XLF, the financials across the board. I mean, not every chart looks the same, but many of them look pretty weak. Here's another one. I think Morgan Stanley. Yep, Morgan Stanley looks weak. You can see just walking up the trend line there, but big negative divergence continues to remain intact. So again, that's what I'm seeing. Now I want to look at the industrials, XLI. This has the same, this has definitely looks weak as well. Couple things about this one. So we have a clear uptrend line on XLI, the industrials. Again, look at these candles. We're just barely just grinding along here, just at any little tipping point, and we're going to fall off the cliff, basically. And we don't have a sell signal yet, but it's just right there. And on this one, kind of mixed signals. On the PPO, we have negative divergence right here. We don't quite have it on the RSI. Maybe it wants to run up and make a slightly new high and then fail. And if we do that, then we'll probably have that negative divergence in the RSI too. So again, no sell signal yet, but I was scanning the heat map and, kind of looking for some weak stocks, looking for the stocks that might be weaker than others. And in the industrials, and I was charting some of these. So we got Honeywell. Let's take a look at that one, HON. And you can see here's the uptrend line that I have Honeywell. We've already broke that uptrend line right here. We already have a sell signal on that one. So that one, again, I don't want to take this because I'm still waiting for the sector to break. But we're seeing some of these already break down. And again, negative divergence is the repeating factor in a lot of these. So Honeywell's already broken down. Another one, you'll see that Deere, DE, there it is right there. That one's in the industrials, and I'm already short that. That one's already broken down. So again, there's a breakdown. And then some haven't broken down, but again, I'm starting to see these are starting to break. And then we're just waiting for the others. Here's CAT, another kind of major player. Here's an uptrend line on CAT. Hasn't broken yet. Still above trend, but big negative divergence. All right. So really the point of this video that I really want to just hit home is that's the strong sectors, the sectors, tech has been relatively weak recently. Tech has actually already broken down, and we already have a sell signal. If I look at triple Qs, you'll see, there's your March 2020 lows, there's your trend line. We already have a sell signal. So tech has broken down. It's backtesting, but again, it's already broken down. The financials, the industrials, and healthcare have been some of the stronger kind of sectors that are holding the market up, but they're looking weak. They look like they're about to break. And if that breaks and then we get tech starting to break with it, we're going to get a broad-based market sell-off. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm prepping for that. I don't know if it's going to happen. And again, I'm just waiting for these, I'm watching some of these industrials. I'm watching some of these financials. But I'm seeing signs that we're losing momentum in those sectors. And those are the sectors that are keeping the market propped up. That's really all I want to point out, guys. Let me know what you guys think. There's consumer discretionary. I'm kind of eyeballing that. That one I think is already broken. But for the most part, I'm watching these financials and industrials and healthcare. And we get a breakdown there. I think we're going to start to see a broad-based market sell-off. Could be substantial. So I want to make sure everyone's prepared for that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but be prepared, because if it does start to show up, then I think that'll be the next big trade. All right, guys, thanks. Catch you on the next one. Bye.